Good evening. Welcome to Waking God's Child YouTube channel. I'm here with my co-host Candy Nelson, and we're coming to you live from Florida and Texas. How's everyone doing tonight? Candy, how are you tonight?
I'm hanging in there.
Hanging in there. I heard that one. So we're on just a few minutes early. Actually, we're on right on time. We're going to ask that you all just bear with us for 1 second. I'm going to send Candy a link real quick. We're trying to get another individual that's interested in watching this podcast this evening. So just bear with us for 1 second. I was going to put something up playing, but Candy, you have anything that you'd like to add about your week so far? I mean, it's only going to take me a second to do this real quick, but you know, is what it is here.
Other than my fabulous doctor's appointment I had last week, so
We're
that's
trying to
always
get
great.
another. Got it. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, the fabulous doctor's appointment. Yeah. Yeah.
He's such a jewel.
I'm sorry.
He's such a jewel. I just love him. I'm like,
He
too
is
fun.
awesome. You're lucky. I did
Yeah.
send that to you, by the way.
Okay. All right. I will go send her the link.
All right.
I'll be
So,
back.
okay.
Hopefully.
All right. So we're going to be looking for Candy. She's going to get out and come back in. Um, and we have three of you with us tonight. How are you guys doing? Is everyone doing good? You guys survived the storms? We got 6 of us here now. Numbers are growing. So tonight we're going to be talking about programmable matter. Actually, a programmable human society, for that matter, because if we all sorts of matters. If we look around, it seems like we're dealing with that quite frequently, indoctrination, so to speak. But a lot of you are probably familiar with Harold Kautzvella, which he did a phenomenal piece on, and like a whole series of videos of programmable matter and black goo, and a lot of the things pertaining to that. And so this is, hi Argo. So this is something that we're going to be exploring tonight as well. And hold on just a second. I'm trying to see if Candy's back here yet. She's not quite back yet. But
What?
we're going to
I
be,
still have,
oh,
I
there
still
she
haven't got
is.
the,
We're good.
well, I still haven't got the link yet, so I'm still
Oh,
waiting on the link.
it didn't go through yet? Okay, that's
No.
crazy. I text messaged you it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's probably why. Sorry.
That's all right.
Didn't even think
Okay.
about
And
that.
then
Hi, Joe. Um, how's everyone tonight? Joe, did you survive the storms? I think you were in them as well. I know for Argo last week before last, he was in the middle of all that nonsense that was going home with the big, what, a little bit of everything, tornadoes going on, and gosh, there's just some crazy stuff going on, which also has to do with programmable matter, in my opinion, when it comes to whether man, um, you have a palation, so code word, wink, wink, or G, IEIO engineered, kind of the we opens above us. I hate that I have to do that, but I mean these strikes are real, folks. They are real. So just I'm kind of like just blowing a little bit of time here while Candy gets this link sent. But are any of you, I know, hi Kat, how are you? I know that Argo, I know you're familiar with the programmable matter. I definitely know that we've talked about that before. Joe, you're probably very familiar with it. And let's see, what does that say? I can't read that, Joe. What does that say? Uh, Gosh, I swear. My eyes are getting worse and worse and worse, but got Mr. Mission Control here. Hello, hello, Sunshine. Yeah, he's been very kind. Mr. Mission Control has been very kind to check on me here. We had a lot of like coastal flooding, in the southern Texas area last night, today. Hello, Candy's back.
hey, I'm
Um,
done. Mission accomplished.
yeah, and Mr. Mission Control is here with Mrs. Mission Accomplished. So long story short, yeah, we're all alive and okay. I actually had I had 106-degree fever for like 3 days, starting on Sunday night. Well, 106-degree fever all throughout the night and early mornings, and then it went down to like 104 the next day. Basically, yesterday was my first day of a 98-degree regular temperature. I feel like crap today. I'm dragging. I'm not going to lie, but I still have to work with all of this, as you all probably are aware, because you probably have to do the same thing, which is not fun. Not fun. So, hello, Cat. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. All right, guys. So I'm going to start out with just kind of playing a short clip or two, and I've got to be careful. Copyright strikes are real. Censorship is even more real, and Lord forbid, indoctrination is the most real of all, and programmable matter is as well. So, but I'm going to play just some few short, bits and clips of this. So bear with me. I'm going to put that on here momentarily. I'm going to do a screen share here. I've got to put it here, and we're going to go share, and let's see if we can get this up and going from this end now. All right, so you guys can see that. I'm going to remove the overlay momentarily. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to leave the overlay just where it is. That's big enough. You guys can see pretty well, correct? Does that look good to you, Candy? Can you see it okay?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, oops. Got to go back here. All right, so here we go. I'm going to hit play here. Again, I'm going to be skipping around, so.
The presentation doesn't really work the way it should do. I'm just going to scroll through the pictures with an open program. I think it should be okay for this purpose. I would like to, according to this documentary, and basically the substance of the oil already was intelligent, and it was inhabited by a very loving being calling herself Mother Earth, and she refused to be abused for military purposes.
He's referring to Black
And while trying to still work with this sentient oil, the mindset of the people working with it was messed up. So basically, the documentary said that half of the people working in these military labs went nuts and committed suicide in very cruel and or funny ways. And the other half kind of saved their own lives by finding to affirmation saying, please connect me to the one source, which gave them access to the collective consciousness of the planet. And drove to my healing practitioner who has all the technology to produce globally as information medicine or radionic medicine or homeopathic medicine. And we took the information pattern from the stone and imprinted it on globally, following the theory that you can heal things with the information of the disease. You can heal a disease by introducing the information of the disease. So we produced medical globally from this black goo oil schist, and I took them in the hope to get rid of this funny state of myself, being so empathy-free and cold-hearted. And the thing that happened actually was very similar to the thing described by this British documentary of people reconnecting or connecting to Mother Earth. So the cold state started to disappear from my body. The impact of this evil information field outside of the times when it was in ritual use. They covered it with women's hair to kind of shield and protect the humans in the environment from the impact of the field being emitted by the stone. So there you have kind of, in the Asian tradition, you have the form it was brought into. It is a typical, a little bit looking like a 60s rocket, space rocket, typical form from morning till evening. So this is actually all coming out of these black magic traditions, being fire and blood sacrifice, to produce torture energies that are utilized by the black magic community to run and rule this planet. So this is kind of the way that this little incident.
All right, guys, I'm going to just kind of zip through here, but you've got the
Actually, on field level, if you try to understand the basic positions, we used to believe that everything is about good and evil. And if I look at reality now, I have to say that actually we have three positions that try to gain space. This is good, evil, and control. Or does it somehow collide somewhere with your experience, or is something, didn't I go deep enough into details here or there to enable you to grab what it's about?
All right, guys.
Things on continue this ugly game, which I would say is something that makes me hope that we should be able to very quickly let go from the bad habits, because there's nothing left that is backing them up.
All right. Okay, so Mr. Mission Control, I just read what you said, saying that they made a third state of magnetism, which is called after magnetism. That's interesting. I have not heard that. I can only imagine what the things that they could potentially do with that. Actually, that's something. So it's always scary. You know, it just seems like we've got the strangest things all the time going on. Hold on, Candy. I don't know why, but it set this whole thing up weird again. So let's just get this back into order here. Once I get rid of Harold here. I couldn't, you guys saw, I tried to leave all the credentials and everything there so that you guys could go, if you wanted to look at that again later, all the information's there. You can pause the video, do what you want. That's just one of many, and there's tons more. But what I also found interesting is the thousands of U.S. patents on programmable matter as well. And we all know that the programmable matter is very active in our life right now. It's everywhere and everything. I mean, heck, they make sheets that know how to fold themselves up. All sorts of material can be programmed as long as it's got the program. So I don't know how I'm trying to say this, but I know what I'm trying to say. But they do. They have self-assembly technology. And so keeping in mind that many of us that have been, considered Morgellons sufferers, Morgellons syndrome, whatever you want to call it. Again, I think this is that's just a small piece of something much bigger. But the point is, programmable matter is used within that realm, obviously, extensively. And Candy, what are your thoughts on that? I know you've had plenty, I guess hours of study, like many of us, if not many more, knowing and hearing about this. And you've actually, spoke with Harold Kautzvella as well.
Yeah. We did the conference thing up in New York with Candy Griffin. But most of my experiences with stuff is not from studying. It's like real life scenario stuff that happened. But I had cleaned my room one day, and my coffee table was like completely empty. It was clean. I mean, I had cleaned it. I was gone for maybe like an hour or so, was doing something in the kitchen or another room. And I came back and I sat down and I look at the coffee table and there was this black slimy pile of, I don't even know what the hell
like
it
black
was.
goo, kind of like what Harold was talking about. Yeah.
And it's like I looked up at my ceiling because I thought, well, maybe, my ceiling's leaking or something. I look up there, I don't see anything right above it. And I thought, well, maybe it's grease from the ceiling fan. But the ceiling fan was not directly over the spot. And I'm like, this absolutely makes no sense. It was, ugh. So I took a tissue and I kind of wiped it up and it was liquidy. And so I just let it sit on the tissue overnight. Well, I came back the next day and actually it had dried up, but it came off in like solid form, like a sheet off the tissue paper.
I remember those days. Yeah.
I've
seen that firsthand.
Then,
and the shape, there's shape shifting technology in there, which has to do with the
Yeah.
programmable matter, I believe. And sometimes I wonder, these things in the sky, if we're not dealing with this, in fact, the same concept, if it's not in essence, a programmable matter or nanotechnology, self-assembling up yonder. There's so many
And
scenarios.
but, another thing too, like I was
Hi,
telling you
Kim.
before, when my leg was so extremely large and large, it was engorged, and I started deep tissue massaging with the camphor stuff, and when the stuff poured out, it wasn't black goo, it was more like an amber. I get like an amber goo. And so it was just, it was like I said, it was like pine sap. And then when it did come pouring out of my leg, the air hit it and it like crystallized. And I had to take a paring knife and sit there and scrape it off. And
Yeah.
it came off like in sheets of glass. And so, I'd always had the amber goo, but then I took oregano pills one time, or oregano oil. Not sure which one. And actually, when I went to go change my or go to the bathroom, I noticed that in the crotch line area, there was like black goo there. I never had that. I heard so many people talk about the black goo,
Hmm.
and I always had the amber goo. But when I did take the oregano, I saw that for the first time actually it had came out of my body, and I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
that's no wonder. Yeah,
It's
so I had no idea I
craziness.
even
Yeah.
had
And
it.
most people with Morgellons, again, it's neither here nor there, but those dealing with this nonsense have seen some stuff that just will blow your mind. It's just,
Right?
it's impossible. As what you actually have to pinch yourself. Am I crazy? Did I just see what I saw? Is this really happening? Because it will make you feel like you're crazy. But, rest assured, nobody just wakes up one day crazy. There's no head injuries going on. We're seeing what we're seeing. And then come to find out, when you start into that self research, you start realizing that there are hundreds and thousands of people worldwide experiencing the same thing. And it's like, okay, all right, so I'm not crazy. The rest of the world's crazy. And then that's what gets the ball rolling into the gigantic rabbit hole of
Yeah.
lies,
And
seeping
too,
lies.
and the greatest thing is to hear somebody else say that they have the same symptoms that you've had, because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. I am not alone.
Right.
Like,
And it makes you feel better, but it's still like, but dang it, nobody should have to suffer from any of this. But I mean, I think, the whole, we've talked about this many times. It would be impossible for the entire world to not be affected by this. It would just be impossible, because when it's raining men, per se, black programmable men, I guess, then by golly, it's affecting your crops, it's affecting your food and water sources, it's affecting your animals that partake of that. You are also an animal that partakes of these necessities that we have to live, thrive, and survive. So, at the end of the day, it's simple math, but it's really complicated math when you have to think and figure out what all is involved to actually do this to the human race. And here they say some of these things, are not of this world, that there are some components that really will make you scratch your nugget or two. You know what I mean? It's like, what do
I-
you mean not of
you,
this
you know,
world?
and sometimes like things happen to me and I look and I'm like, oh, what in the living H or what in the living
Double
F
hockey sticks and going
is
on.
this? And what am I going to do to fix it?
Yeah, and
It's like,
Lord knows, like, we spend lifetimes trying to fix it. Candy for sure has. She's well over 20 years of this. That's more like 30 by now. I know it's got to be 30
right?
by now, because I am at 10. So, but when we're dealing with this nonsense, it's like a battle that never ends. But this is just one small portion of a majorly gigantic battle, because I'll tell you, not only did your world flip and change when you start seeing your body do the strangest things, and the strangest things that shouldn't be there come out, or things shapeshift, or take place, and or just come out of nowhere, including the things in the sky, including the things at the foot of your bed, including the way people around you act and start treating you. including the way that you are forgotten about. You will question your reality every day, all day long, real quick. You will be, am I dead? Did I die in a tragic, is this hell? Is this hell right now? Am I alive pinching? This has got to be hell. This is a joke. This is a bad dream, right? Like you will go through so many scenarios. Like,
Yeah, it's
what
like,
on
is
God's
this
green earth
really
is going on?
happening?
Right.
Well, and what gets me is like when I first figured everything out, my husband was like, "Well, you can't believe everything you read on the internet." I'm like, if it's a
Yeah.
duck, it
We don't
quacks
have
like
to
a
read
duck.
it. Let me tell
And
you,
it
we
looks
see
like
it. We
a duck.
live it.
It looks like a duck. Guess what? It's a dang duck.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still to this day don't have words. I mean, as you know, as we all know, we're dealing with it daily, and I would like to say, there's a point where it's just like, all right, it's just another normal day in paradise here. And it is kind of, but the stuff that you see never, I'm not going to say it gets old because it does get old, but it always amazes you. It always makes you scratch your nuggets. Like, what the heck was that? Why is that moving? I mean, it's just like, why? Why? So call me crazy. They have. They have. But what are your
What
experiences?
was it? Oh, I was trying to remember what I was thinking just a minute ago. It's like I can't even think about it, but it was funny. You were talking, and I was like, it just slipped my mind. I was like, okay, we got to laugh. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we can't do this without laughing, guys. Sorry.
Sorry, I have to move this TV a little bit.
What'd you do? You left
No, I
me.
had to move the TV just a little bit. Sorry. The TV was
Oh my
like
goodness.
cockeyed, and I can't read the comments because I can't see them on the computer at all. I have contacts in right now too, but so I have to look at the big screen, and I can't see them. But so I did notice that we had Melinda here as well as Trap the F that one, and
The FU2K, FU2K.
Melinda says, "Hi, camera, everybody. Sorry, I gotta get close." Tab says, "People act different after the eclipse. I stayed in for the last one." I'll tell you what, she's right. They're right on that. So I'm sorry, I had to get really close. Yeah, people did. They acted way different. I will vouch for that for sure. It was, and I don't know what is eclipsing the moon and the sun, but it's not another round circular planetary thing. I'm just saying because I saw it and it's terrifying. That's all I got. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's
No.
terrifying. It wasn't normal. It's alive.
Yeah. Melinda says, oh, I feel wet drops sometimes on my body. I do too. And it's like, I would tell my husband, I was like, I just feel like something liquid's like pouring out of my
Yeah.
face, and I touch it and there's
It's
nothing
that
there.
biofilm, that
Or I
liquid
feel liquid
biofilm.
on my leg and there's nothing there. Okay. I'm like, what the heck?
It is, I'll tell you, it is just this this nightmare, whatever this is that we're living in. If it was a dream, I have to laugh because it is the most absurd stuff that anyone can deal with. And it's not like the rest of the world doesn't have it going on. It's just that until they're aware, it's like I say about these things in the sky. When you observe them, they observe you back. Well, it's kind of like your body. When you observe these inside, they're observing you back, and they put one hell of a fight. So I think that's the only difference between us who spit it out and we get the lesions, where the rest of the world is walking around in dum-dum land. Yes, I said that out loud. Dum-dum land is exactly the words I use, and it's not by choice that, for the dum-dumness. It's called indoctrination. We have been dumbed down. We have been conditioned and structured through television programming, through your beautiful commercials, through billboards and society, and mental, physical conditioning on all levels of conditioning. And I'm going to say the word again, conditioning and more conditioning. And then you come into the world and you're conditioned, and then your mama's told what to do and you're conditioned, and then she tells you what to do, and it's handed down from generation to generation. It's complicated, but it's pretty simple too, and it's pretty dang ingenious because it worked. It worked. But back to the nanotech side, that times this, what kind of hope do we really have here? We have a lot of hope. We do. We have hope. But Candy, I'm going to get this other video prepped real quick and ready to pull up. So if you don't mind, I am going to leave you alone, not just walk away again, like exit left. So, but
That's okay.
it'll just take a
I'll
minute.
touch on that. I'll touch on that hope subject.
Good.
What you were
Good
talking
idea.
about.
Good call.
So, guys, again, yeah, we're going through a lot. I mean, y'all know my history. Oh my gosh, man, my body was completely saturated with massive lesions and rashes. And I'm like, and I've got so much scarring now. I don't even care about the scars, but I'm telling you, just whatever you do, don't give up hope, because honestly, I am like 95% better than what I was 10 years ago. And I'm telling you, it's just as hard as it is, and mentally exhausting, financially, physically, every which way. It just tears on relationships, and it's done so much damage that it's like, but I mean, those things cause us, if you use them as tools, not weapons against you. So again, you know, there's hope. There's hope. I mean, gosh, oh my gosh, I'm so much better. And I thank God, not saying I'm completely healed or recovered or anything like that, because I know I still got a long way
It
to
was
go.
bad though, wasn't
And
it?
oh my gosh, it was
Bless her heart.
absolutely
Yeah.
horrendous.
All right.
And I'm so thankful to God each and every day that I called out to him, and I was like, "You gotta help me, God. I can't do this anymore."
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it just don't lose hope.
Yeah, and I'll
I know it's
say
hard.
when
I
the
know
less
it's hard.
when I just finally got sick of worrying about it, sick of thinking about it, sick of protocols, sick of everything you had to try, do it. That's when I got better. No, I didn't say healed. I said, the lesions clear. I did. I stopped protocols. I stopped worrying. I got sick of hearing it. Don't use this. Don't do that. Do this. Be strict, strict, strict. And then at the end of the day, I realized they're feeding off a spirit of fear. That is what's feeding them.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's fear. It's
You're
not
afraid.
anything you
You're
can
afraid.
do. And again, my
You're
opinion. I mean,
afraid to eat
obviously, being
this.
healthy is very important. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, but you're afraid to eat this. You're afraid to go
To
here. You're
live, to
afraid to go
breathe. I
outside.
still don't go barefoot. I still won't walk across floors with my bare feet. Okay, because there are certain things and quirks to this that it's called PTSD, and the crap is real, folks. It's real. It's so real.
Well, I know I told you, man. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how many times I would walk out my front door, and every single time I would get on my deck out front and go down the steps. Every single time I'd get smacked in the face with webs, this webbing, and I was just like, oh, I didn't want to go outside. I was feared going outside,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you know what? No,
See, and I
I'm losing
went
this
outside.
fear.
I was just like, bring it on. I'm like, come on, make my day. But
No,
I'm so
no,
weird. I gotta
I
have
beg
shoes on
God.
though. Hold on.
No, I beg God. I was like, God, you got to help me get rid of this fear. And once I lost that sense of
It's
fear,
true.
it's like,
It is true.
oh my God.
They feed
Yeah,
off of fear. And it makes sense. Fear is a frequency, and frequency is everything. So that means your binaural beats are very important. Your every type of frequency and what you surround yourself with, whether it be positive or negative, all of that emits a frequency. And these things come from the lower realms. So that's a lower frequency, which fear is based off of lower frequencies. And that is when, again, I stopped my protocols. And Lord knows I tried every protocol. And I am not, I do not like to be told what to do, but I did it. I was doing these. And you know what? It wasn't helping. And then finally I was just like, you know what? I'm sick of not living. I'm sick of you guys. And I turned that fear and I was angry. And then I was just like, I don't care. You're not worth my time. I've got a daughter I'm raising. She's way more important. Talk to God instead. And that's when that I saw my body start to just like all this biofilm that made me look like I was like out to here like the elephant man. My whole body was swelled up in this thick biofilm, making and like a weight, like I was overweight, but I knew I wasn't eating anything hardly. And the biofilm, just like my body started kind of going back into a normal shape. And I'm scarred up like no tomorrow. And right now I've got holes all in my neck, as you can see. I didn't say they're gone. I'm saying I am nothing like I was. And anyone that saw photos of Candy or myself before would be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Especially, when poor Candy, like, she was covered. This beautiful woman, I don't know how that little tiny frame could have so much misery all over it, but it was head to toe. But she still had this gorgeous head of hair, and her and I both have stood firm on the hair. A lot of people go shave their heads and this, that, and the other. And I just knew better. My dad always said, your hair is your crown and glory. I don't know if that's true. And it really had nothing to do with that. It was more so like my hair is I've always hid behind my hair since I was a little girl. When I was shy, my hair was my security blanket. And not only that, I didn't have any issues in there. I never did. I use heat on my head. I blow dry, but the point is, I've watched people around me, my own sister, my own family members get cancer and all these strange cancers that didn't exist where, cancer doesn't even really run in my family like that. But I mean,
Can you see
yeah, your hair's
my bald
beautiful, by
spot?
the way.
Can you see my bald spot?
I don't
Joe, up
see
there?
them, but I mean, okay. I see now that you bent down a little bit. So you did have some, yeah. See, I got fortunate. I was fortunate, but again, I use a blow dryer like every day. I use a heating iron on my hair if I ever have time, which I haven't in months, but I still blow dry my hair. But I mean, the thing is, I just stopped worrying about it because it feeds off the negativity, and it does. And I'm itching right now too, like making my neck itch. But again, I watched all these strange illnesses go on. I've got a cousin that's got just a very bizarre type of. She's battled a brain cancer at like the size of a walnut in the base of her skull, and bless her heart, she was in her young 20s. I mean, we have watched people in their teens drop dead around us, especially since the Crown Royal, hit us, and some of those that did take the roller up your sleever, which I understand people had to take that. I get that, but I mean, we have watched our lives go to a shite in like 3.2 seconds because of nonsense that's being done to us here on this earth. Nothing we did to deserve that. It's not global warming. Yes, there is a whole bunch of toxins. Yes, our emissions, our engines are putting out toxins, yes, they are. But there is no way in hell that is what's doing this to all of us. That's not the reason for all this autism and Alzheimer's and dementia. And I'm watching that. Everyone's brains around me going, bye, Felicia. I'm out. I don't want to be part of your head no more. I mean, it's a true story, guys. This is being purposely done and achieved right to us by a very dark handful of elite people that have always wanted to maintain their control. And it is, in fact, a worldwide control. It's a global control. It is not just like one nation under God, indivisible. By golly, you're right. It is not divided. It's never been divided. It's always been a one world government. And they are the masterminds behind our slavery because we are enslaved. Some of us aren't, though. Some of us, and I'm assuming, and I'm going to say probably all of you here, have broken the chains that bound you. You have the eyes to see. You have the discernment within you, and you have the ears to hear, the eyes to see, and the wisdom now to know the difference. And you are not playing anymore, just like I am not playing anymore. I'm tired of their lies. And how dare them get me sick, that's one thing. But when you start messing with my freaking family, you make my mom sick, my dad sick, my sister sick, my baby sick, you are messing with the wrong freaking woman. And I will tell you that straight up. And I will not quit till I see you burn. You're welcome. And I have no fear there.
Do you happen to have that picture handy that we had put on the business card where my face was just like so messed up?
Actually. I think I have the business card right here, actually. I found a couple of extra the other day. Hold on 1 second.
So, I mean,
and then I'm going to play this measure for us on that or the other. Hold on 1 second. Let me grab it.
Oh my gosh. If you guys see my face, I'm telling you, like I said, don't lose hope because you'll be just like so shocked with how when I went to go see Lisa, my face was so messed up. It's like, I don't even know how I got through that, but it was like, yeah, now, yeah, I just got scars and a few little blemishes here and there, but oh my gosh, guys. I mean, I'm telling you, it was just such a nightmare, and
All
I'm
right, well, I have
so
my
thankful.
refrigerator magnet of it, but
Oh, you do?
let's see if I can get this right.
You can't see it that well. Oh, there you go. Yeah, look at that,
I
man.
wish I could get it
I'm
more
like,
clear.
oh,
I probably have it
mm.
online somewhere too, but
And it was so thick.
yeah,
It was just thick.
her poor face. It
Oh
was
my
just,
God.
I don't know. It was, she had it so bad. It was so bad. It was, my heart aches and breaks when I see, I mean, and trust me, I look like the Elephant Man. I really did too. But when I have to see my fellow, sufferers, friends that I call friends, have to, you know, deal with this, it makes me more angry. I don't have fear anymore over this. I have a passion to kick ass, is what I have right now. And I know that many of you are probably feeling the same way. And some of you, I get it if you are still, if it is, it's a scary situation. It's not fun. But I mean, we are dealing with this. And those of you that might be here visiting, and I do see that we have quite a few tonight that may have never even, known anything about this. I just want you to know how very real these things are. Programmable matter is part of your life everywhere, and it is manipulating and controlling a big portion of it along with AI. And on top of that, along with your shadow gov, elitists, your Illuminati, I don't care what you want to call them, your naughty naughties, like, yeah, they're real. They're as real as they can get. I mean, of course they're going to maintain their control. They're your big bankers, they're big pharma. They're going to maintain their control, but there's a small handful of them. But they're not going to, not quit easy. But I mean, there's a handful of them and a crap ton of us. So we have nothing to fear. We just got to put on the big girl panties and pull ups and whatever. Put your suspenders on if you have to. But I mean, I'm ready for war, man. I'm ready to battle. I am not going down without a fight, and I will die fighting for this. So, with that
And
said,
you
I'm
know
going
what
to put this on. I'm sorry?
I call it PPO,
Yeah.
proactively pissed off.
Proactively pissed off is a very good way to put that. Absolutely. I'm in the fight. We're in the fight for sure. But yeah, but I totally agree, Candy. That's a very good way to put that. So, okay, I'm going to put this. This is the other short clip. This is the Harold Kaus with about the Morgellons and the nanotech and programmable matter involved with that. So I'm going to play just a short clip of this because I think it's important. So let's just do that really quick. I always say quick. I'm getting better though, guys. I am getting better. Right. I wasn't going to share that. It's like I'm sharing myself here. Well, that sounded weird. I don't mean it like that.
When that comes on, I'm going to try to go see if I can find some photos of my
Okay, yeah.
past
Yeah.
indiscretions.
Yeah, you had some really good photos too, that's for sure. All right, here we go. I think I can do this now, possibly. All right, we've got. Where did this OneDrive come from? That is crazy. Nope. Hold on here, guys. I'm getting there, I promise. All right, here we go.
All right, I'm going to go look at the photos here.
All right, I got this up finally. It just took me a minute. All right, I'm going to have to go back out for a second because it's not sharing it. And here we go. Do I got it yet? I swear I'm trying. Just bear with me, y'all. It's giving me like several options. I'm like, you want to share this one? You want to share that one? You want to share that one? I'm like, no, that's the wrong one too. All right. You guys can hear it, but let's do this. All right.
Beautiful way, even
Make
if it's
this a
not
little
beautiful, what
bigger
comes out of
here.
it. But it does tie
I
together.
can, hold on.
And
Let's see if we do it like this. Let's see. Can you see it from you guys' end? It's hard for me to go back and forth and switch screens. Can you see it, Candy? Any of you? I think it might
No,
be
I
up.
just, let's see. It's hard. It's real small.
Oh, it's still small?
Yeah, it's real small. I can't,
That's
like
weird. Okay, let me,
it's like
I just
narrowed
made it
out.
bigger. That's super weird. Okay, hold on. All right, we're gonna just do a different one here. All right, share screen again. Here we go.
Sometimes
Is it still
that we
small
might
though?
collect in the forest. First, they grow underground, they grow in the
So weird.
soil, and with the Morgellon fungus, it grows inside the body, inside the muscles, inside the blood, inside the bone, hollow part of the bones, inside the brain. So the entire body can get infected with these tiny
Is it any bigger,
fibers, the
guys?
mycelium,
Yes.
which we
Yes.
know as
Okay.
the
All right.
red
I
and
was
blue
like getting ready
fibers,
to back out
sometimes
again.
white fibers in the Morgellons disease. When they had enough of look at those properties or characteristics that do not fit into the normal life cycle of a fungus, and then we can try to find out where does this come from and for what purpose is it possibly designed. And then we can start to understand all the fringe aspects that are to this disease. But first, as a first step, we can take the normal biology of a fungus. And we did this. I did not make broadband research. We did not have like hundreds of patients coming through, but we had a couple of excellent patients that documented their phenomena. Actually, the conditions fungi love. They prosper on heavy metals. They prosper on acidity.
Heavy
And
metal's
if
coming from the
somebody with a
sky,
human
so it makes
body
sense why we're
did not take
miserable.
care of himself during his lifetime and poisoned himself with industrially grown food, antibiotics, we know single
Guys, I have to jump
purely
around. I'm sorry.
biological function and ways this fungal infection interacts with the human body. What might be worth mentioning, once Morgellons have established, actually this is the end of a long process of different disease where the human went through. There are actually two different actually different forms of candida. They have a phase where they are just in balance and in harmony with the body, then you shouldn't be bothered. But at a certain point, when intoxication gets too strong, they also start to grow fibers, a bit smaller than Morgellons, but actually with the same secondary detoxing mechanisms. If the liver doesn't manage to detox your body, then first the kidneys take over a part of it, and whatever
And my
is
kidneys
not
aren't
managed
working.
by the
Where's my
kidneys
thyroid? Hardly.
is done by the skin and the mucoid skin. So hay fever, asthma, dermatitis,
Double
these are
pneumonia,
all
Candy and I.
secondary detoxing mechanisms. And if you suffer from any of these, be aware that you might be on a straight path to Morgellons because you are part of this line of intoxication. And if you want to basically reverse the process, you need to stop intoxifying yourself with the wrong. And this is not the case with Morgellons. This is why we need to have a closer look at this detail. The second detail we need to have a close look at is that actually the Morgellon fibers are white, but while living in the human body, they accumulate blue and red dyes into themselves. And these dyes themselves are not from Morgellon origin. There was a lady at Harvard University in the nanolab who captured some of these fibers and also sprayed some of these dyes out of raindrops, out of filtering
Yeah, these
air.
are still coming down from the
She just
sky.
collected things coming down from the sky. And she had
And my
fibers
body.
and she had blue and red dyes. And she did some chemical analysis in in the nanolab at Harvard and just published the chemical formulas of already the possibility. These quantum dots, they have the ability to absorb microwave radiation and upconvert this radiation into visible light, sending out single photon emissions that are readable by the DNA cluster of the human body. So it was a method to introduce a microwave into the body that is then inside the body, upconverted to the communication level where the body with external electromagnetic fields are mental and sexual fields. And you find kind of it connects to the politics you can observe out in the world. You know, we are living in a completely ego-driven world where there are pattern. And when the Morgellon fiber came into this picture, you could see that the two interact. You can see that the Morgellon fiber kind of makes the barium strontium titanate glow in a close distance to the fiber. So this is kind of a visual proof that Morgellons are utilized as an integrated component of the same experience. And if many people share the same experience, even if it's not visible, we reach a state of observations where we cannot say it's absolutely delusional. What we can say it's immaterial. This is possible for insecticides. These are fungi that are designed, specially genetically modified also, to kill insects, to protect big plantations of fruit trees, for example. So they have a go at the insect, kill it from inside, eat it up from inside, and then they start to grow the fruiting body, absorbing the DNA of the insect and building the fruiting body exactly in the shape and form and size of the insect, even integrating the outer shell of the insect.
In my opinion, I can feel it.
It is with autistic children carrying ropeworms, which is a very similar concept like the Morgellons. It does start with a slime mold instead with the mycelium, and then the slime mold unites to a fruiting body, and the fruiting body is showing the morphogenesis of something snake-like or worm-like, and pictures. So start a conversation with the consciousness inside the stone, and the outcome of these conversations actually were always the same. The people who got into communication turned evil and started blood and fire sacrifice cults to serve the entity inside these stones. It started in ages when the world was still mud. Yeah, so yes, if you look the historic path of chemtrailing, of transhumanism, it does tie down to a black magic source. So no wonder that the outcome interacts with black magic substances. And this is one part that is important to understand, because the people who run the transhumanism business, I think most of them are not aware of the other aspect of the things. I'm sure.
Transhumanism's right.
And this is something where you can already see the biorobot aspect. This disease is psychoactive, it interferes with the human mind, and it makes decisions for you. So if you are under the influence of the disease and you want to cure yourself, you need to find a position that is more heart-related. If you trust your mind, you will forget that you had an appointment with a doctor. You know, the point of where you focus on when you really want healing is your heart chakra, and then the mind is not so important. And then you will remember that you had an appointment. Then you will find the way to the doctor instead of getting lost in the city because something interferes with you. Just be prepared that this disease will try to meddle into your business. This is one thing.
No way.
And a detoxing. So in a way, this is the first time that Candy and myself we unite forces, and I have heard that her measures are good enough, more than good enough, to completely solve the problem. And we made the experience that the biochemistry and the diet only also is good enough to entirely solve the problem. And if you are clever, you just watch both sides and take the advice and the techniques from both sides and maybe the remedies. And yeah, if one alone can do it, the two together will do it for sure.
All right, guys. Hold on just a second. I want to point something out really quick, Candy. Um, they were talking about, oops, sorry. I guess he stopped now. All right, so the chat was talking about the vinegar, guys. I did a whole thing on the vinegar. I swear by the vinegar, putting the vinegar out, clearing chemtrails. I take the water bottle, like I was talking about. I think there's something to the vinegar for sure. Let's put it like that. I take the water bottle, diluted. I buy the industrial strength, like the 70 or the 30, somewhere in there. I have both. I mean, and then you're going to want to dilute it accordingly, but I use a spray bottle. I spray it all over. And that was another thing that it burned like hell, but whenever I had, I do have breakouts like that happen and erupt, and I just got through with one, and actually I feel like it's coming back right now. I'm not afraid. Never mind. Okay, I'm going to just talk myself through it. I'm putting that frequency and that vibe out. But long story short, there's something to the vinegar. Absolutely. Copper, 100%. I heard about the copper rod. All of these things. I mean, there's so many things that we can try that's effective. And hey, Argo said some of the inhalers causes parasitic infection. 100%. I definitely believe that one. Especially, we think how many people were dying on the ventilators, right? After the C word happened. And then I just think that there a lot of it, or the nasal swab that they about put my brain out with. I swear, I think a lot of this stuff is already harboring these things, and so on and so forth. You can tell Candy's getting tired, so I am gonna. On that note, did you find your photo, Candy?
Yeah, I sent you a couple. I had to send them in a text because it wouldn't let me share
Sorry,
them.
I was doing I had to do the video. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's funny. You always send me that one, and I have this exact same picture of my own little happening. Exactly, it's the exact same thing. It just blows my mind that you had the same one. So this is some of the stuff, y'all, that we pull from our bodies. This one happens to be Candy. It's what the irony of it is. I literally have almost an identical. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
So, but let me go here to her. This is what y'all really need to see.
But go full screen on those pictures and take me out so they can see it better.
Well, it's still not gonna make it full screen per se because you sent me straight up and down, so it's long ways. But let me see if I can do that.
Yeah, especially those buckyball fibers, man. That stuff came out of my leg.
I mean, this isn't going to make much of a difference because it's a straight up and down one. But.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that's gone.
Yeah, she had it. It was so, bless her heart. I mean, it was. I had it bad, but I know. I was like, wow, this woman has had it severely hard. You just don't realize, what you have either until it's gone, until you're dealing with something like this. But it's wicked. It's wicked. Sorry, Candy. It's just wicked that anyone, and look at her now. Turn sideways, Candy. I mean, you wouldn't even know that was the same person. Like, it's just nuts. Like, so, and again, it wasn't from there was no protocols being like we started actually doing podcasts and taking our mind off things, right? But I mean, that's when I healed. Like when I just stopped the fear, and I think I watched you heal over the podcast, over the terms from our very beginning podcast. I literally watched you get better as we went on, and it makes sense, because when you buddy up, you team up, and you just like, screw this, not today, Satan, not now, not ever. It has an amazing effect when you have that strength and you send that frequency out. So it's
show those fibers full screen because that's what Harold was talking about when he's talking about But yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
show that full screen if you can on those fibers.
Yeah. Hold on just a second.
That stuff
Hold
kind of
on.
really freaked me out because I mean it was just a tiny little speck, like as big as a pencil lead. The tip
See,
of
I
it.
mean, it's freaked me out too, but mine was way bigger than the size of a pencil lead.
No,
That's
when I
what's
took it off, but
weird.
then when
Like
I
yours was
scoped
that
it,
small?
yeah, when I
That's
scoped it, I was like,
crazy.
"What in the heck is
Yeah,
that?"
mine was as big as an eraser. Like seriously, and it looked just like this, but more of it. So
Oh,
yeah, I
that was
actually have mine
crazy.
too. So I have to like I wish I could do it side by side because but it was not the like little bitty like mine was it was bizarre. I was at the coast. I'll never forget. I was at my parents' coastal home and I felt this pressure like in my neck. Well, same area that I always have issues with right there. And it hurt. It hurt. It felt like barbed wire coming out and just it's like nobody should have to deal with this, but here we are. We're dealing with it. We're alive, we're kicking, and all of us, and that goes for each of you, are so strong and so capable. And we're so fortunate that we are going through this and spitting it out because I'm sorry, but we're surrounded by dum dums. So I had to say that just so I could laugh a little because sometimes we need to laugh. And it's not funny, but it is because at least we're spitting it out because the more of these toxins, and that's, a big portion of the parasitic toxins that fungal components with the black goo, programmable matter. It's got a little bit of Bill Clinton in there somewhere and probably SpongeBob Squishy Britches and who else, I don't even know, but all of these retarded things inside of us need to go. And because the longer they stay in, they make us that way, right? So I guess is what I'm getting at. But we're spitting them out, so we are blessed in a sense. But it's a bumpy, hard road, and it's not cool. It's not fair. And who in their wildest dreams would ever in a million years imagine that it would even be possible? Obviously, not too many because a lot of people are still like, oh, they're delusional parasitosis. I'm like, yeah, pick me. I woke up and I was like, you know what? I really feel like telling people I got bugs and all these little fibers things. I love negative attention. Give me some of that. Yeah, that's me. Pick me. I said, nobody freaking ever. Like, I just want to tell people, shut the hell up,
Please
but
abuse
it's not going
me.
to get you, right?
Please
What?
abuse me.
Sorry?
I said, please abuse me. Like,
I know, you picked me. Yay, I can't wait. Yay, love it, love it, love it. I could think of a lot of things that might get better attention. I'm just saying. But I mean, when you got children, you don't really need attention because you're too busy giving yours to them and you don't have time for the nonsense. So doctors that love, and how many people can they tell that they're delusional when they're coming in with the same exact symptoms? I mean, how long can that actually be okay in their little mind? Like with on the moral side, like morally, how long are they going to feel okay about themselves? And I'm not saying all of them. Candy's found a good one, but I don't like them. I have really bad taste in my mouth over them, and I don't go to them. But look at me, I'm better without them. So
last time I went to the doctor, the nurse was asking me, well, how's your health? Do you have this problem? Do you have that problem? Do you have the other problem? I was like, you know what?
I got all
I
of
have
those problems,
like
but not that one.
multiple connective tissue diseases. Okay. Yep. I'm not healthy. Okay. There you go.
And we know why we're not healthy, and that's the thing. I mean, and I mean, think about this. In biblical times, in ancient times, whatever one wants to call it, because, oh my gosh, she's spiritual. Oh, she's religious. Oh, religious freak. Because I get called all sorts of things online. Let me tell you, I might quote a verse from the Bible, which, by the way, guys, the Bible scriptures come from cuneiform tablets that were written on stone tablets, and it wasn't even called the Bible then. So just stop your little petty nonsense, grow up and get a pair, and listen up, okay? So, but I mean, the thing is, it's like we're spiritual and we're aware, but we know that there is a guiding love of a light of love that's gotten us through all of this first and foremost. Like that's the main reason we've come so far. This
Yep.
is a skin suit, but we know in those ancient times we used to live till we were like 600 years old. It's just plain as day. We lived a lot longer. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think 100% these days are getting shorter, like for real shorter, like the day's gone just like that. I don't know about for you guys, but for me, the days are passing. I think time is speeding up. It feels like time is speeding up. I don't know any other way to put that. But the point is, we now are lucky if we live to, the medium age, I guess the medium age is like what, 60 to 70 years old. I mean, that's about the range that most people are given as their lifespan. And why? I mean, yes, there's toxins, but I mean, this goes well beyond them, because our God made this world perfect, just like He made a body able to cleanse itself perfectly without all these drugs needing to be put within them, or the pokey pokes that we had to have since we were babies. But neither here nor there. We are our own worst enemy. But what's really our own worst enemy is our handlers. Our handlers are our biggest enemy because they have purposely kept us old, fragile, weak, meek, incapable, and dependent upon them, and programmed because our matter apparently was programmable as well. And that is a fact, Jack and Jill. Don't go up the hill though, because you might fall down and actually break your damn crown. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah. So many friends is like, oh, well, she's got the C word. Well, oh, you mean she's got chemo? It's not cancer, it's chemo.
yeah, it's crazy though. I mean, you think about these, all of the illnesses. It should be so obvious. Not to mention the streaks in the damn sky that shouldn't be there. That should be dissipating and gone shortly after the mofo farted it out. But nope, it's still lingering there like my daddy's stinky feet. I don't get it. Nobody's catching on. They're just like, that's a contrail, you silly goose, you. It's like, oh, don't you silly goose me. I'm getting ready to like
They've been sucking on too
poison
many
myself, let me tell you.
they've been sucking on too many cow farts.
Right. So, I know. I just sometimes no words, and it's hard to bite your tongue. And I have, you guys know, I have a hard time sometimes, but I am trying. But we've been so strong for so long. So my gosh, if we have a weak moment, we have a weak moment, and if anyone deserves a weak moment, I think we do. But again, we're soldiers, and nobody sends a soldier into war without going through boot camp first, and that's what we're going through. And we were born for a time such as this. I've said it forever. I believe it. I think you guys know it too. We were born for these days. We're going to be just fine. We are in the fight, guys. We're in the fight, and we stand with you, and we stand in our truth. So I had to put that up one more time. But anyways, it's getting late, and I know you got to be tired too, Candy, and all of you here. Thank you for joining us tonight. I love you guys more than you know.
I'm sorry I didn't call everybody out by name, but we love you.
What's that?
I said, we're sorry we didn't call everybody out by name, but we love you.
I think I'm pretty sure I did. I tried anyway. If I didn't, I promise you I love you. And you can call me later and yell at me if I didn't call your name out, because as we all know, my phone number is out there. So Argo says, I'm waiting for it to show up on the big screen because it shows up here first, but hold on. Kat says she'll be 74. And Kat, you look great, by the way. You look great for your age, and she's probably going to live like till she's 600 because she is feisty and she's going and she's going to keep going. He said, Bentonite clay. I have some in my bedroom right beside my bed. Would be what you want. Why does that chat keep going up and erasing? Like, I can't. Okay, I'm just going to. Why is that doing that? That makes me so sad.
All right,
so people are like typing over, so I can't read all of Argo's. Candy, you probably have a better luck reading than me because the chat's going over the chat, over the chat, over the chat. But Midnight Clay, though, is true, and I have some of that. Of course, like I said, I've tried everything, and nothing works anyway, other than just losing the fear. But I mean, if anything, I have dandelion root also drops that I just started using because I still believe wholeheartedly to stay as healthy as possible as well, and just lose the spirit of fear. He said, would be what you want. Okay, now it just disappeared again. I almost got to read it, and it disappeared again. That stinks, Argo. I wish you could type that again. It just now disappeared on me. I can't find it.
I gotta go because my tummy's like doing flips over here.
Yeah, I'll let you go. All right, guys, we love you. Sorry, I'll try to find that again, Argo. I have some of that though, by the way. You guys have a good evening, good weekend. Be safe and know you're allowed. No, I'm not gonna say be safe. Cat would get me for that. That's just putting the negativity. We're gonna have a great weekend, y'all. We are in there. We're gonna feel good. And we're gonna do great. All right. Much love and hang tough. We're in the fight.
All right.
With
Good
that
night,
said,
everybody.
I'm out.